I'm Jonathan Ambarian in Helena. A group of young plaintiffs suffered a defeat in federal court this week as judges ruled against their request to revive a lawsuit against the Trump administration's energy policies. I'll have the latest on where the case could go from here.
I'm MTN's Madison Collier in Great Falls, and coming up, I'm looking at what you need to know about the New World screwworm and what it means for Montana.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the News at 6. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us. A major push to jumpstart America's coal industry. Yesterday, President Donald Trump unveiled nearly $700 million in new coal investments, invoking a Cold War-era law that grants him broad authority over domestic industries. 15 states are participating in the plan. Montana is not one of them. MTN's David J. explores who's in, who benefits, and what Governor Gianforte's office has to say.
Trains with coal cars often come through Billings on the way to the West Coast for exporting. The president's announcement included Wyoming and several other states, but not Montana. A big part of the announcement is the proposed coal export terminal in Oakland, California. And some industry leaders say that's why Montana was not mentioned.
His announcement just solidifies or stabilizes the entire national energy industry.
Beautiful, clean coal. That's the description used by President Trump Thursday as he used wartime powers to announce a $700 million investment to revitalize coal in 10 states. 5 additional states, including Wyoming, will help supply some of that coal. Not on the list, Montana. Even so, many here are ecstatic.
I have never been more excited about the future of our part of the state, and most of that excitement is from future energy opportunities that are percolating right now, including additional coal.
Jim Atchison is the executive director for Southeastern Montana Development and says he's not alone when it comes to his enthusiasm for the president's announcement. Parker Phipps, CEO of the Signal Peak Mine near Roundup, is also celebrating the news. While Phipps couldn't speak with us on camera today, he tells us Montana is not part of the president's big announcement because Montana coal is not shipped to the coal export terminal in Oakland, California that the president referenced.
One massive new export terminal.
While Montana may not be part of this announcement, the state's coal industry has also benefited from recent announcements by President Trump, including expansion of the Spring Creek mine in southern Montana just last year. President Trump also issued an executive proclamation last year allowing Colstrip to bypass strict standards that threaten to close its power plant. Efforts not lost on Colstrip Mayor John Williams.
The continued importance of coal for the generation of power for all the people across the United States. The value is there, and it's recognized by President Trump.
Williams says Montana ranks #1 in the country for coal reserves, but there are others who are deeply concerned by the president's push to revitalize coal.
It's not going to solve the energy transition.
Among them, Ann Hedges with the Montana Environmental Information Center, who worries not only about Montana, but also what this could mean for the country.
What this shows me is that there's an acknowledgement by this administration that coal can't compete in an open marketplace.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Federal judges rejected a group of young plaintiffs' request to revive a lawsuit against the Trump administration's energy policies. It's the latest in a series of climate lawsuits in Montana dating back to the Held case. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian has a look at what could come next.
After their win in state court in Held versus Montana, some of the same plaintiffs joined the Lighthizer case, challenging President Trump's executive orders encouraging fossil fuel development. But for now, that lawsuit isn't moving forward.
It's definitely frustrating.
A panel of 3 judges on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled this week that a district judge was right to dismiss the case. The plaintiffs, ranging in age from 7 to 25, argued greater greenhouse gas emissions are having real impacts on their health and lives.
The plaintiffs are really bearing the burden of these worsening climate harms and air pollution injuries.
But the Trump administration and Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen said in statements that the judges correctly determined the plaintiffs didn't have the standing to challenge the orders. Nate Bellinger with Our Children's Trust worked with the plaintiffs on the Held and Lighthizer cases. He says they have the option to ask the Ninth Circuit to rehear their case, but they haven't decided how to move forward yet.
Talking to the plaintiffs in the last couple of days, one thing that's clear is they're not done. They want to continue this fight. at the state level, at the federal level, and do everything they can to hold their government accountable for the harms that they're causing to them.
Many of these plaintiffs are also involved with a second held lawsuit in state court, challenging Montana laws on environmental reviews. That case is still making its way through the process. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
It's time for First Weather with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Gravenitz, and I like this weather. Can I order it again for tomorrow?
No, we've run out of coupons for the nice sunshine. You know what? This is our last 6 o'clock show.
It is our last 6 o'clock show. I was going to say, this is the one show that I've always done.
Yes.
So, yeah.
How many years?
Crazy. 6 years. 6 years. Can you believe it?
I know.
6 years. A lot's changed.
Time has flown.
Yes, it has.
When we've had fun. And we've worked hard, and you certainly have, and I'm happy to be here on the desk with you.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes. So you're not going anywhere, though.
We're still working here.
And I've got a man crush on her husband, so we're still going to be hanging out and stuff. But yes, this weekend, a little bit of everything: some rain, some snow, some wind, some sunshine out there. Not last weekend's record-breaking.
Thank goodness.
Yes. But the kids might still go a little stir-crazy inside.
Oh, great.
All right, let's take a look at the radar, and we've got some rain and thunderstorms, and if you look closely, a little snow up there in British Columbia and Alberta. Of course, Montana, dry right now. That is going to change. Look at this snow. Continental Divide, southwest of Helena, up by Park Lake, maybe Elk Park. The Pintlers picking up some snow on Sunday morning. Kings Hill could have a couple inches of some snow. June snow here, and then a little bit more next week. All right, last night the aurora did not come out. The northern lights, it came this morning after the sun came up, and it looks like it peaked during about the middle of the day. Might be out tonight, especially for those that live up on the High Line. Northern Montana might see a little bit of some aurora borealis. Storms tomorrow. Sunday, a little wet snow in the higher terrain, and more rain in the forecast, but that means more improvements for the drought. I'll have more of the full forecast later on.
Evan Charney here in Helena, where the Last Chance Tour train is near the finish line for their fundraising goal to save the train at the start of the 2026 season.
Oh, we are well on our way to saving the train. I expect this unit will last another 50 years easily, and we'll just keep going.
Since fundraising started last year, the tour train has raised just under $100,000 of the $150,000 needed to replace one of their towing units. Construction on the new unit is a month underway. But the new train will look a little bit different, keeping the Ford F450 truck base and the upgrades it brings. Their goal is to reach the fundraising finish line by the end of summer, with the hope that the new tow unit will make its debut at next year's Vigilante Day Parade.
New World screwworm was confirmed in Texas, and here in Montana, state livestock officials have moved to restrict certain animal imports. But the Montana Farmers Union says more safeguards may need to be in place if the parasite continues to spread. As MTN's Madison Collier explains, the group is encouraging ranchers to closely monitor their herds for signs of infection.
New World screwworm has not been found in Montana, but after one confirmed case in South Texas, Montana's Department of Livestock issued an emergency order to help keep it that way. So why should Montana care about a case more than 1,000 miles away? It comes down to animal movement. Cattle, horses, pets, and other animals can travel long distances, and if one is infected, the pest can travel with it. The pest is a parasitic fly that can infest wounds or openings of warm-blooded animals. Montana Farmers Union President Walter Schweitzer says he's concerned about an infected animal bringing it into the state and what even one case could mean for Montana livestock markets.
You know, we ship a lot of our feeder calves now go north to Canada, where they export them to the markets we lost because of the tariffs. And if we have any sort of disruption like this, they may block those imports. And so I really appreciate the Montana Department of Livestock in their efforts to make sure and try to prevent that from happening.
Under the emergency order, some animals from affected areas now need additional documentation before entering the state. Schweitzer calls the order a good first step, but says if more cases are found, Montana may need to go further.
Time will tell. if there's more cases, then the Department of Livestock is probably going to have to ramp it up a little bit more, require treatment of any animals in the infested area, maybe even a short quarantine to make sure.
For producers and pet owners, Schweitzer says the message is not panic, it is prevention.
If there's any question, you see a wound or a lesion, or if your animal seems to be a little bit sick, get a hold of a vet. They know what to look for, and they know how to treat it.
Montana's order is effective immediately, and for now, Montanans can stay updated through the Department of Livestock and can contact a veterinarian if they see anything suspicious. In Great Falls, Madison Collier, MTN News.
It's not summer season, it's shearing season. I'm Jane McDonald here at Alpacas of Montana, and coming up, we're going to break down all you need to know about how to shear an alpaca or a llama.
You're watching KTVH, part of the Scripps News Group. From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Well, everyone loves looking their best, and that goes for our hooved friends as well. MTN's Jane McDonald heads to an alpaca farm on shearing day to show us the basics and how important this day is for the entire operation.
Well, we're getting into those summer months, and that means that temperatures are climbing, and it also means it's time for these alpacas to get a haircut.
So the first thing you do, you obviously lead it to the mat, and then you want to pick it up really gently and then lay it down. And then our goal is we want to do it as quickly as possible so that they're on the mat the least amount of time, because the longer they're stretched out, the more stressed and angry they're going to be.
This is Kyle Michaels, an alpaca shearer who's been in the business for more than a decade and knows a thing or two about giving alpacas and llamas a nice short haircut for the summer.
So right now, John's taking off the blanket. This is the blanket, this is the neck. The blanket is the better part. You want to separate it from the neck. And the goal is to keep this all in one big piece.
Quite the well-oiled machine. Kyle and the team are tasked with taking care of nearly 90 animals during their visit to Alpacas of Montana. An exciting day for the alpacas and llamas since the winter has been so warm, but it's also an exciting day for their owner, James Budd.
It's exciting for us because we send the fiber in to get fully processed and turn it into our Alpaca Tech yarn, which we have patents on, and sell them in our stores and online.
Alpacas of Montana is the largest alpaca clothing company in the country. And today is especially exciting because it's a chance for the team to get a glimpse of the future.
So it's exciting also for me to look at the fiber, see what kind of quality animals we have, what kind of products I can make with each specific yarn, because fiber is not fiber. It all gets graded, and to see which is going to be next to your skin or maybe as an insulative value in a coat. So we're always trying to manipulate that fiber with each breeding to take one step further in quality and get to exactly the type of fiber we need.
So this is much more than just a haircut. It's a way for the animals to be more comfortable and for the business to start their plans for the future. In Bozeman, Jane McDonald, MTN News.
All right, we've got a new storm moving in for the weekend. Friday, it's been beautiful, but this big thing heading into British Columbia, that's headed our way for the weekend. And then right behind that, another big sluggish storm out there around the Aleutian Islands. That's headed our way for next week. I'll have the weekend forecast coming up.
Storm Tracker Weather is sponsored by Rucker's Furniture.
June is anniversary month at Rucker's Furniture, and you won't believe the savings you'll find on the largest selection of home furnishings in the Helena area. At Rucker's, you'll find sofas, recliners, reclining sofas, leather, bedroom, dining room, occasional tables, entertainment consoles, Tempur-Pedic, Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Sierra Sleep beds, and more. Plus, 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $389.
For great values on new looks for your home, shop anniversary savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Storm Tracker Weather starts now. Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenens.
Welcome back. Happy Friday, everybody. What a happy weather day it is out there. Look at that beauty. Almost 80. Great Falls, no, it's not dark yet. Camera having issues. It would show you blue sky. 78 degrees. 70s and 80s. Lovely, but a little cooler around Missoula and Kalispell. A little cool front that's working its way through the state. The wind picking up a little bit behind that front, Missoula and Kalispell. Where's the front? Right about there. There's one low that's working its way up through central and northern Alberta, but there's another low out in the Pacific, and that will head our way for the weekend. Some showers, some thunderstorms, almost a little monsoonish. Hopefully they get a good monsoon down there in the Four Corner states. All right, tonight, a pretty night. I know last night the aurora didn't show up, but it's out there right now. We just needed to get dark, so I want to take a look for that here tonight. A couple of showers tomorrow, more so in the afternoon. Helena, Townsend, Cascade, Great Falls. A little later on into the evening. Not major storms. That could be a major storm out there around Glendive, but just a couple showers and thunderstorms. And then look at this, Saturday night getting wet. Sunday, some of that mountain snow. Snow levels could come down to 5,000 feet as we go into Sunday morning with some clearing late. There's that system moving out, but boy, right on its heels, another one coming in. Late Monday, we could have a shower in the western part of the state here, and then oofta, more wet weather coming through with some higher elevation snow. Looks showery, looks unsettled, maybe all the way into next Friday. Don't shoot the messenger. All right, tonight, partly cloudy skies, pretty nice night. Again, might have a little glow in the sky if you look off towards the north from Hinsdale. Some of central Montana, if you look north, you get away from the city lights, might see a little of the aurora borealis. Saturday, dry-ish to start, a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Not everybody gets wet. Sunday, though, ooh, that's a chilly system. Look at Lewistown, a high of 49. And again, some of that higher elevation snow around Helena, east of Great Falls, southeast of Great Falls, could have some snow in the high woods and the little belts on Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, clearing, but we've got some wet weather again next week. Helena, some snow in the higher terrain around town on Sunday morning.
And still ahead, we hear from a former Montana State standout and Super Bowl pregame captain. His story of inspiration after the break.
Get up-to-the-minute local news, weather, and sports when you want it. Download the KTVH News app in the Apple or Android store now. Sponsored by Top Gun Auto Body, where good enough just isn't good enough.
In Montana, the people live and breathe local sports, the rivalries, the passion, the pride. From frost-covered fields to packed gym bleachers, every game tells a story and every town has its hero. MontanaSports.com is where those stories live. Your teams, your highlights, your communities, all in one place. Available anytime on the web or on the app. MontanaSports.com.
Sponsored by First Bank of Montana.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Montana's Pro Football Hall of Fame inductions are here in Billings just 3 weeks from Saturday. We'll introduce you to all 8 newcomers starting right now. From Montana State standout to Super Bowl pregame captain, Tony Bodie was a guy who chased a dream and left a mark in unexpected places. As you can see, he was glued to sports from a young age, growing up in Washington, where he was named Mr. Football and Mr. Baseball in high school. Bodie was offered a minor league tryout, in fact, with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but his path was on the gridiron. From 1979 to 1982, Bodie was Montana State's nearly every down workhorse, grinding out almost 2,500 yards and finishing as the school's 6th all-time leading rusher. Tough between the tackles, electric when cutting outside. His professional journey took him to the LA Express and the USFL. Check this out, number 24, and watch him run. For over 3 seasons, he added over 600 yards and 4 touchdowns to his ledger. That's the kind of steady production coaches love. A shot at the NFL followed. Bodie joined the Denver Broncos in 1986, saw the field again in 87, and in Week 13, he punched in the only NFL touchdown of his career in a win over New England. And he didn't just play in the postseason, he was a presence. Bodie appeared in all 3 of Denver's playoff games, serving as a pregame captain for the Broncos in that year's Super Bowl, an honor that put him squarely in the spotlight. A back injury in 1988 cut short his career, but what remained was a legacy of grit. Tony Bodie, now a husband, father of 4, and grandfather of 5, who still loves watching and coaching athletics. Scott Breen, MTN Sports.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Comprehensive Hearing Services, because hearing is vital.
Because there's always something to do in Helena. It's time for your Out and About calendar on KTVH. If you'd like to get your event added to the calendar, please scan the QR code or visit the Out and About page on KTVH.com.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Before we end this newscast, I want to say thank you to all of you. In my about 6 years at KTVH, there have been a lot of changes. Sometimes I've anchored the 5, sometimes I've anchored the 10, but one thing has always been consistent. I have always anchored this 6 p.m. newscast. It's something I have worked on hard and take a lot of pride in. So saying goodbye to anchoring, especially this newscast, is not easy. Thank you to all of you for choosing to watch KTVH and for welcoming me into your homes for the evening news. While you won't see me here at the desk again, you will still see me out in the field and on your TV screens, telling your stories and answering your questions. And of course, Helena's my home, so you'll see me outside of work hours too. To each and every one of you who have made this, my dream job, possible for the past 6 years, thank you. And for the last time from this desk, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you at 10.
In Montana, the people live and breathe local sports, the rivalries, the passion, the pride. From frost-covered fields to packed gym bleachers, every game tells a story and every town has its hero. MontanaSports.com is where those stories live. Your teams, your highlights, your communities, all in one place. Available anytime on the web or on the app. MontanaSports.com.
Sponsored by Gales Point S.